Okay, it's time to call this commission meeting to order, and today is March the 11th. If you've got a agenda, it says March the 3rd, but today is March the 11th. This morning we have the Reverend David Hendricks from Trinity United Methodist Church to give our invocation, and we'll all stand. I'll lead us in the pledge after.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We pray. Gracious and loving God, we give thanks that we live in a land where we have the priceless gift of political freedom. May we always be mindful of the great blessings that are ours as citizens of this country, and may we always exercise those freedoms in responsible, constructive ways. We give thanks also for the blessing of representative government. Guide those here and elsewhere who have been entrusted with the responsibility of civil leadership. Grant them wisdom so they may exercise their responsibilities as servants to those over whom they have been given authority. We especially pray that you will guide the deliberations that will take place in this chamber this morning. During these contentious times, we pray that you would help those of us in this community be living examples of goodwill and cooperation. Teach us to truly see one another as brothers and sisters. Open our eyes so we will see how we can serve one another. Open our hearts so that we would move to meet one another's needs. And give us grace so that we may minister to one another with love and affirmation. Be with us, watch over us, and keep us. Amen.
Amen. Face the flag. Attention. Salute. Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. No one handed me any public comments, so I guess we don't have any today. I just want to welcome all of our visitors, the news media, any citizens that happen to be here. You know, it's always open to all citizens. It's a public meeting, so everyone is welcome. Call the roll, commissioners, please.
District 1 Lee.
Present.
District 2 Currington. District 3 Martin.
Here.
District 4 Reed.
Here.
District 5 Epps. Here. District 6 Corbett.
Here.
District 7 Swift.
Here.
All right, thank you, Madam Administrator. At this time, we'll have approval of the corrected minutes from Monday night. We found a few things, so is there a motion to approve?
I so move.
Motion is made by Commissioner Martin. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Corbett. Call question.
District 1 Lee.
Yes.
District 3 Martin.
Yes.
District 4 Reed.
Yes.
District 5 Epps.
Yes.
District 6 Corbett.
Yes.
District 7 Swift.
Thank you. All right, we'll move on to business items. First is the proposed project at Annex Building. Commissioner Corbett.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As we brought forth the last work session, not Monday night, but the previous work session, we were looking at projects to better the area, community, and obviously our county facilities as well. Due to a trip I had made and a leadership trip trying to find ways to enhance the communities, one thing that came to our mind was, came to our attention were murals. We've done one in Crawford now. We have a building here that I think is an ideal candidate for it, and that is the Annex Building on 14th Street, which is across from the Judicial Center or the old courthouse. That wall, as the chair has stated, it took a lot to finally get it, the paint to stick to where it is now, but it has so much potential to welcome people to our area. That building is used by our Extension Service and Board of Education. Both leaderships there. Jennifer, if you want to come down and speak to this. Jennifer's here today with the Extension. I spoke to Superintendent Dr. Brenda Coley, who is excited about it and has shared that with Jennifer, that she looks forward to working on this project. You want to just kind of talk about the vision of what the wall would look like a little?
Yeah, so I spoke with Dr. Coley and she's on board. We're up for anything that makes our area look better and make it more enticing to the public. We think that that's a very good spot for lots of visitors to see because you can see our wall if you're going north or south on Somerville Road. And then that general area is kind of under an upgrade as well. But the vision for the actual mural itself would be to stick to our agriculture roots and a lot of our resources of Russell County. So maybe a scene of the Chattahoochee River, followed by maybe some of our pine trees, which is a nod to our largest agricultural crop, possibly a quail hunter, and then some agricultural or agronomic crop fields. And then somewhere interspersed in there, some of our historic buildings that we have in Russell County, like the Masonic Lodge or the Seal Courthouse.
All right. Go ahead. Any other questions?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
since this in my district, I like to table this right here because I like to get 2 or 3 different types of designs before we move on this right here.
Well, it's my understanding that we have not settled on any design. We're gonna get 3 or 4 different designs. We just authorized them to get the designs.
If I may explain that, Mr. Chair.
All right, go ahead.
The contract that I'm prepared to make a motion to approve today calls for, it's a $1,500 contract paid by tourism money that would, in contract with an artist that has already showed us his quality of work in the county. That artist would go and begin working with Jennifer and Dr. Coley to help find the design that really suits the county. That design will come back to the commission, and we will have 5 attempts to get that, or 5 chances to get that to the final design. Commissioners will have a say in every one of those if they want to. Once we get the final design, then we will decide what to do. That artwork will become the property of the commission. I've already cleared that, and it's in an email, that even though this artist does the artwork, once we pay for it, it's ours. So if we choose to let another artist do it or somebody else do it, or even modify it in some ways, it's our business, and we can do that. So the design is going to come back here. We can table stuff to death, and we can put stuff off, but the reason it's on the agenda today is because it was asked to put it off another meeting. We've put it off already. At this time, I'll make a motion that we approve the $1,500 contract with Mr. John W. Christian of Go Georgia Arts. The $1,500 would be paid first payment of $1,000 upon signing the agreement, and the second payment upon completion of the design. That's in a motion.
You've heard the motion. Is there a second?
A second.
All right, questions?
Mr. Chairman, I'm not against the project. I just want to say that in the beginning. But I think I understand what Commissioner Reed is saying. If something is in my district and you come out and you see something that need to be done, just out of respect, we should let that commissioner know what is going on. We all work for the county, but then too, each one of us have a district that we work in. I think it would be unfair, for an example, for me to go to in District 6, 7, 4, any other district. If I decide to go out in Crawford and say I see something and bring it and put it on the agenda, we talk about it, but I never contact the person that served that district. I think it's unfair to that elected official. I'm for the project, but I think we need to start to give more respect to each other that serve the districts, because it can bring about hard feelings, it can bring about just anything. So it's good that we can come together and work together, but what I'm saying is let us respect each other in a district that we're working with.
Mr. Chair?
Let me speak a minute,
Yep.
please, then remind me to get back
Sure.
to you. But the motion this morning is just authorize the beginning of drawings. We will have chances to change those drawings or do whatever we want, the whole commission. But talking about districts, this is a county commission building, so
Absolutely.
technically it's in all county commissioners' district. It's not a building that stands alone. It's not a county commission building. Now, I could see if we were going to do something to a building or ask something to do to a building that was not owned by the county, then maybe we needed to ask that or get that commissioner involved. But this is a county-owned building. It's owned by the whole county, and all commissioners are involved in supervising. In other words, when it needs a roof on it, all the county commissioners are involved in it. It's not just one. So, Commissioner Corbett.
I almost don't need to speak, but I'm going to, because it's exactly what I was going to say. We don't come to, and I'm not trying to disrespect Commissioner Reed. This building we're in right now is in his district, and we don't come to him and ask him if we can put a roof on it or if we can paint the building. This is a county facility. And, here's the thing. Bring an idea. Bring an idea to the table. Let's better our community, and that's all I'm trying to do. What I keep getting frustrated about is when we come with good ideas, because it's somebody else's idea, we automatically go against it. And that's not what this county and the tourism dollars are about. We're supposed to be promoting tourism, promoting our county, promoting our cities, our towns, to make it better for the people. You have citizens that go to the extension office for classes every day that'll see this mural, but not to mention the people passing by, but not even to mention the amount of people that go to our Board of Education building. And this will enhance the building in the area. It's not about disrespecting anybody. And here's the other thing, Ms. Epps. I put this on the agenda on the work session, the last work session, and I brought it to Commissioner Reed and to every one of these commissioners about this, and Commissioner Reed asked me to put it off one meeting, and I did. Plenty of time to think about it and get something else together. And now I've brought it back, and Monday night it was on the agenda in the work session, and nobody said a word. It's just magically when the TV cameras get turned on, everybody's got an opinion. So all I'm asking for is let's let the artist bring us back some designs. If Commissioner Reed doesn't like it, then, maybe we won't even vote to do it. But at some point, everybody at this commission can have a say in what that design is. I'm just trying to progress. We can sit on this money that we take from our taxpayer dollars and do nothing with it, or talk about projects that I want in my district or whatever. I think it's a testament that I'm not just in my district trying to better this county. I'm trying to better the county as a whole. I'm asking you to vote for, hey, let's progress and try to take care of our county buildings and make our county look better for the people that are coming through. If it dies, it dies.
Let me state
One more
again.
statement.
Let me state again. We're not approving putting a mural on any
Correct.
wall. This is not what we're doing today. All we're approving is for to obtain some designs that we may put on there, but we're not approving to do that, because we can't do that for this amount of money. All right, Ms. Epps?
Back to my statement. And I said in the statement that we all are elected officials that serve Russell County as a whole. I only have one vote, and you only have one vote, so we can vote either way we want to. My concern was, because I was told it was in someone else's district and someone takes over. The only thing I want to see this commissioner do is come in and have a decent meeting, respect each other, and talk about projects and get things done. I'm not against the project. I'm not against the progress. But only thing I'm asking for, let's just respect each other. I wouldn't want you to come out in Fort Mitchell and decide, well, we're going to put this on the senior citizen building and blah, 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 and the next thing I know, it's on the agenda, and no one approached me about it. It's in District 5. I'm using that as an example. So I don't want to argue about it. I would go ahead, Mr. Chair, and just call for the vote, and we go
Well, we're
ahead
fixing to do that, but again, I want to state, this is the second time this has been on the agenda, so it is not just popped up unexpectedly.
Correct.
Any other discussion? Call for question.
District 1 Lee,
Yes?
District 3 Martin,
Yes.
District 4 Reed,
Yes.
District 5 L,
Yes?
District 6 Corbett.
Yes.
District 7 Square.
Yes.
Thank you.
Unanimous vote.
Thank you, Commissioner.
There's nothing wrong with discussion, tell me, believe me. What we're here for. A change appropriation, Commissioner Corbett?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It was brought to my attention that we had made an appropriation to the soccer team in the city. The coach that brought that to us is no longer a coach. He had laid out a plan for us of how that money would be spent on projects that, and we agreed to fund that based on those projects. What has been told to me now, and this was from former Commissioner Ben Baker, was that The new coach has said that he did not plan to pursue those projects, and if we did give them that money, they would just stick it back in their fund. He suggested that the county system is going very well. I've asked Mr. Morrison to come and speak today to that project from Russell County soccer program at Russell County High School. Can you come down real quick, Tommy? And talk about what it is, because I would like to make a motion when Tommy's finished to actually change that appropriation to go to the Russell County Soccer League.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I was just told, I think Monday, that we were maybe receiving $3,500. That means a lot to our program. We're not a very big program, being in the county. Just thinking about what we could buy, I mean, we could up our players to equipment that we see other schools have, like our dry fit type warm-ups, dry fit practice jerseys. We need paint, because in the county, I coached at the city also. At the county, we have to cut our own grass, we have to line our own fields, we have to do, I mean, coaches are out on the weekends, and paint supplies is expensive, things of that nature. We could definitely put that money to use, I can promise you.
I guess the main question is if we change this appropriation, since it was designated for soccer at the junior high school level, that's what this funds will be used for.
Oh.
It won't be used for the football or the baseball or nothing. It'll be used for soccer.
No, sir, I mean,
Okay.
we fund our own, I mean, it would actually take a burden off the coaches, trust me. And our team, I mean, they would enjoy the money.
Mr. Chair, at this time, I'd like to make a motion that we redirect that allocation to the Russell County varsity soccer team.
You've heard the motion by Commissioner Corbett. Is there a second?
I second.
Seconded by Commissioner Martin. Any other discussion? Call the question.
District 1 Lee?
Yes.
District 3 Martin?
Yes.
District 4 Reed?
Yes.
District 5 Epps?
Yes.
District 6 Corbett?
Yes.
District 7 Scrivens?
Yes.
Thank you,
All
Commissioner.
right, you see on the agenda, the next item is the annual food bid of the sheriff. The sheriff was called out unexpectedly, and he hadn't made arrangements for one of his deputies to be here, so I'm gonna call on Ms. Horn and see if she can cover it. I've got notes from the work session, but she's probably got them too.
Yes, sir, I'll be glad to. The sheriff, as you know, provided you in your packet information on, and requested Monday evening to send out the jail food bids. He's requested that we send them out March 13th. He would like to open them April 2nd in the commission chambers.
At 3 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you've heard the request from the sheriff. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion is made by Commissioner Corbett. Is there a second?
Second, Mr. Chairman.
The second is by Commissioner Reed. Any other discussion? We do this every year. I mean, so. All right, call the question.
District 1 Lee?
Yes.
District 3 Martin?
Yes.
District 4 Reed?
Yes.
District 5 Epps?
Yes.
District 6 Corbett?
Yes.
District 7 Scrivens?
Yes.
I just want to say the air conditioner is working real well in
great.
here. As I'm beginning to get cold myself, and I don't
great.
usually get cold. No. Sean?
Feels good?
No, it don't either.
Got before you today a memorandum of agreement between the state and Russell County for our federal aid fund exchange. As part of the new gas tax, we had the federal aid fund exchange where we was going to receive $400,000 from the state every year in lieu of our $533,000 federal money we got, where the county could bid out projects and do all the plans in-house and actually save money and do more work with that money. And but before we could get that money, we had to deplete our current federal aid account, and the state has agreed for any county that has under $300,000 in their current federal aid account that we could do a 75-25% swap with that money. Currently, we have $276,060.46 in our account. With this agreement, it would be allowing us to get the $207,045.35 for that 75-25 swap from our current federal aid, and we would also get the $400,000. They said within the next month to 2 months, we'd get all that money so we can start projects.
All right, you've heard the request from the engineer, and I'm going to do this a little different. Are there any questions before we make a motion? Normally we do a motion first, but this is a little bit different than what we normally do. So is there any questions of the engineer? If not, do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion is made by Commissioner Corbett. Is there a second?
I second.
Seconded by Commissioner Martin. Now, is there any
I
questions?
do have discussion. I just wanted, for the record, that I did speak with the engineer about these, and he has projects identified already that could use this money, and they're ready to go, and this is a better use of his time and the county funds. So I feel comfortable with that, and the reason I'm supporting this. In fact, I think most of them the projects are in District 7, so I'm fine with that, and the roads that really need some help. So that's all I've got.
Any other discussion? Call the question.
District 1 Lee?
Yes.
District 3 Martin?
Yes.
District 4 Reed?
Yes.
District 5 Epps?
Yes.
District 6 Corbett?
Yes.
District 7 Scruggs?
Yes.
Madam Administrator, is there any other business under business items?
Not at this time.
All right, Madam Administrator, do you have anything?
No.
Thought you wanted to make a
I
comment.
did, but I changed my mind.
Okay. Mr. Attorney, Mr. Funderburk, do you have any comments?
Yes, sir, Honorable Chair. It's not on the schedule, but it is a matter that needs to be discussed since apparently this has occurred many times. Yesterday, well, not to me, but many times because you read it in the newspapers and other places. I got a call from a news media yesterday saying that a certain commissioner, Russell County Commissioner, called them and had an extensive discussion about a matter which may or may not have come before the county in an executive session. But it was represented, according to the news media, that the commissioner said information about this item came out in executive session. Now, it behooves me to remind the commissioners and people who attend executive sessions, lawyers who are executive sessions, that matters that are discussed in executive sessions, it is against the rules to discuss any of those with the news media, with your wife, with your first cousin, or with anybody else. Now, if the commission comes back into session and takes action, then of course whatever action the commissioners take is public. But where matters come before the commission and no action is taken, matters that are in that session, and we've been dealing with this kind of thing being disclosed many times, but it's unusual for the commissioner to be named. So I'm just putting on notice those news media who think it's honorable or think that they can rely upon information which is being disclosed against the rules is information that needs to be questioned. But I would remind everybody that there are rules. There are rules governing what I can suggest going to executive session. When you vote to go into executive session, you know the rules. And when none of those matters are discussed in the public, then whatever the matter was cannot be discussed with the news media, with your cousin, wife, or others, period. So I just think it's time that it be put out in public that kind of thing, if you get that kind of information, it is information that is improper and probably can't be relied upon. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Funderburk. Commissioners got any discussion, positive discussion?
I do.
Commissioner Corbett?
First off, I do want to make a comment back to the attorney. It's the first I've heard of that, and I'm very disappointed we can't name names of the commissioner that's involved, because I would like that to go on record, because if that's happening, that is so improper, it may be ethical as well. So
Yes.
I would like to see if it is, and if it is, pursue that. Secondly, I was approached as I was walking in by one of the members of cable TV, East Alabama, saying that they have the capability of making our meetings go live. Something we need to consider maybe at a future meeting and vote on if we decide we want to do that. But just something for you to start considering now. I don't really have a problem with it, because I'm hoping I'm not going to say anything up here I have to worry about somebody deleting before it gets aired. So, but at the same time, I think everybody needs to be positioned to start thinking about whether we want to do that or not. Maybe vote on it.
Along those lines, I'm asking, I guess, Ms. Horn, and she may not even know, have we edited our meetings anytime? We've never taken anything out or anything else. So it would be no different than what we're doing now.
They actually are operating it now and take it with them and put it on the
I
next
know.
day, so it really wouldn't be different.
Any other commissioners?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I like for the public to see this right here. I think we had a misunderstanding.
Yeah, it was a little, it was kind of given to us right before the meeting, and we hadn't had
Right,
time to talk about it.
this sign right here gonna be placed behind that, Mr. Patterson, the bench. It's gonna be right, maybe a few feet away from there, behind. It's gonna be on the city property, so it won't call for no action. It's not gonna
Right.
call the taxpayer not one penny, because this already paid for.
Well, I mean, I don't know where they plan on putting it, but isn't there kind of a wall right there for the parking deck? That'd be a good place to put it, but they may put it on a post. But then when you put it on a post, then you have problems cutting around it with a lawnmower. But then the city can do what they want to with it. It's the city's thing.
And I feel like this, while we on this subject, Mr. Hugh Bentley, though, actually the man that really helped clean up Phoenix City, and he don't even get no credit. They blowed up his house.
Well, they got his picture down there in City Hall.
Let me say something to that too, and I don't want to go too long drawn out, but if the projects that are being worked now with the subcommittees that are going on about the museum and things in Phoenix City, if those go, Mr. Bentley will get plenty of credit. So will the Russell Betterment Association and everybody that was involved in that situation. Some people don't want to tell the story. Honestly, most of the people that were involved have passed on or are not, not going to be here much longer, unfortunately. We need to get the story out while people can still tell it. So I think it will address that if this project gets off the ground.
Yeah, I hope the true story gets told, because those of you that have seen the movie, The Phoenix City Story, that is not a true caption of what went on in Phoenix City. It's got one or two facts in it that are true, but most of it is just Hollywood.
And but one thing really true, I see the Coulter building in it.
Yeah, it's in there.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, ma'am, Ms. L.
I would like to say that I've had several calls, even I got about 3 when I was in Washington, because we have a lot of citizens who cannot make this meeting because of the timing of it. And I didn't realize that so many people were reading the minutes online. So I think I mentioned it a while back, and you said that we wasn't putting those minutes online. But if we're going to serve the people that we was elected to serve, I think we ought to try to make it a little convenient for them to be able to keep up with what is going on in the county. I really didn't realize that so many people read the minutes online until the minutes is not online.
Well,
And they can't read them. So
they can't-
I want us to just think about.
They
is there
can't be
something that
put
we can do?
online until after we approve them. So
Right, that's
They can't
correct.
go on before then. And,
Right, that's
we've had
right.
a few things going on in the commission office for the last couple of months, and hopefully that's getting itself worked out now, and I think they ought to be online too.
Well, I had a lady that
So-
called me when I was in Washington, and I was in a meeting, and I got up and answered the phone, and she says, none of 2019 minutes is online. What y'all doing up there? And I go, wait, let me calm down. I'll bring it before the commission, and we'll discuss it and see can we get something corrected on that.
Yeah.
So,
Madam Administrator.
I just wanted to correct one thing. We're planning on keeping the minutes at least 90 days on there, and it's due to the storage capacity that we cut down on the number of years that they're on there. But the 90 days should be there, and I'll check on that after the meeting.
okay.
Yeah, so if they want to go back and get old minutes, that may not be online.
Now,
They have to come
what
up
they
here.
were talking about, I guess, I'm assuming, and I'm just assuming, that they had been checking online to read the minutes because they had been posted for, I guess, 30 days after the meeting or whatever.
Yeah,
and they
some
wasn't
people,
there.
use the internet and online stuff for research, and we don't have the capacity to put all our minutes and keep them there forever. But they are available up there in the commission office. Anybody that wants to read the minutes can come in there, and they'll get the book out, and you can sit there all day and read it if you want to. You can't take it with you, but you can read it. All right, any other comments? All right, announcements. I'm gonna let each commissioner do their own announcement. So, Chance, I think you're first.
All right, Sunday, from 12 to 3 Eastern Time at the Masonic Lodge in Crawford, we're having the cookie crawl. This is the 4th annual cookie crawl, where you come and kids get to have their picture made for free with the Easter Bunny, and they buy cookies, and that is to benefit the projects we have going on. I guess I'll keep going. The
Go ahead.
Patterson statue ribbon cutting is March 27th. Our Bicentennial Committee has worked very hard. We had some delays in the statue being completed, but it is completed now, and on March 27th at 11 o'clock, our plans are to have a ribbon cutting of the statue. The statue will be sitting on a bench where you can come get your picture made right across the street from the Culture Building, as Commissioner Reed just said, was really part of the history of Phoenix City and that whole thing, so.
All right, Ms. Epps?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. There's going to be a town hall meeting in District 5, and it's going to be held at the St. John African Methodist Episcopal Church on Highway 165. And this town hall meeting will be focusing on the census and getting out to vote. And it's very important. It is open to everyone, and we want you to come out because it is important. The probate judge, our own probate judge, the Honorable Alfred Harden, will be doing the presentation on that. So we're asking you all to please come and get information that is very important, because we have learned in District 5, I have learned through folks living there, there has been a misconception of the ID voter, the ID that you have to go into to vote on. So we're trying to get this corrected out. Okay.
All right, thank you. I guess I'm a member of the Historical Commission, so I'll do this one. The Russell County Historical Commission will have their Pioneer Day and Quilt Show, April the 18th from 9 to 3 Eastern Daylight Time at the Fort Mitchell Historic Site. And for those of you that hadn't come before, it's actually turned out to be a pretty good thing. Started off slow, but the last couple of years, it's been real nice. And Ms. Martin, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Chair. I'd like to ask our Chief Engineer, Sean, about the state project, Cut Rate Road. Have the people living in that locale, which is District 3, been notified?
I think I'll find out for sure, but I think the city sent out all kinds of notifications.
And I understand it may take up to nine months to finish that
Probably
project.
take a year.
Plans call for, but it's a bridge of that size, it's probably gonna take 9 months or so. Yeah, I know they've sent out on social media and everything, but I don't know if they've contacted.
It's been on the news. I've heard it on the news. Now, I don't know whether they've shown, I don't know whether the citizen is planning on having a diagram in there for the detour or not, but she just told me that they were, so I guess it will be in print for the detours. Okay, any other announcements? I hear a motion, we adjourn.
So moved.
We adjourn.